guys, welcome back to Transits and Tactics. We're experiencing the solar transit of gate 19, which is the gate of wanting. And it's all about the fuel for social needs and our basic needs. And it's about wanting to be wanted or wants to be wanted and needs to be needed. I really like that way we can put this energy. This develops these two elements. They develop an approach to life that is all about seeking and promoting interconnection with others. It's a tribal energy. So we're talking about, it's not about being needy of support, but it is about the basic needs to be met. So are you loved? So emotions, sex, appreciation, and this could be on your mind. And I know I for sure been thinking about, myself and my relationships to others, to my partner, to my husband, and what's behind that? What do we have enough? Do we have the resources? Do we have abundance of this? Where is it rooted? Now, there's the kind of dual theme to it because it is about the basic needs, and it's also it is a root gate, so there's a pressure that to make sure that these needs are met so that you can feel aligned, so you might feel like you are abundant and you're supportive. I definitely have this like really good feel of this energy, but you can also be overly concerned with this and feeling like you're not enough. So please beware of spending enough money. I just signed up to somebody's Substack for a year, and I lovely person. So, kind of no regrets, but do I really need it? This is the energy. This is exactly the theme, jumping at something because in this moment you feel like this will support you or support the need that you have. You can be overly flirtatious under this energy. And as a visibility strategist, one thing I can tell you, if you feel like this, channel this into your content. Even I would rephrase myself. It's not that you feel this, but if you decide to record a video, for example, I even sense it now, the kind of playfulness just comes in. Because today, here's the fact, I was absolutely exhausted. I even had to cancel a couple of my calls earlier before this recording, and I barely made it, right? Even though I look very fresh, I can see that on the video, but that was like a lot of effort put because I felt so tired. And the moment I met Anita, and I'm feeling this playfulness is coming up. So you can be, it adds charisma to you being on video. So record those videos that you've been procrastinating and embrace this playfulness, embrace this flirting with your viewer, because that adds so much attraction and so much, this becomes like really like in real life. When you're flirting with someone, there's a connection that's built. So I definitely think it's a great time for the video content right now. The other side of things, so we are talking about the basic needs, but there's also, it's about fulfillment in our spiritual life too. So, it's not just about, for example, having good physical relationships or having your full fridge or, your needs met, but it's about the bigger picture here as well. So think about your community, for example, because if we're talking about the business, we're talking about marketing, this is the time where you can really connect with people. And especially now moving into talking about the earth is in gate 33. It's the gate of privacy, and we just checked with Anita. I have this gate both in my design and personality sides of my human design, and this is about intimate reminiscing. And I know my best connection with people happens when we reminisce, when we're talking about something that has happened in the past. There's so much insights that coming in, but it's also the time to retrieve so that you can take a weakness when you're feeling, anything that you're feeling weak, you can turn it into strength by retreating. And I definitely see that this is part of, the story of my life. Every time I feel overwhelmed, every time I feel, we have this, especially with social media, you can feel very overwhelmed with social media. Well, shut it down and have yourself a detox day. Today, half a day, I just lay in bed and did nothing. I couldn't even sleep. I was just needed to be, in that retreat. It's a good, solitude is a really good thing. And in the relation, if you can't be alone, just beware that there could be confrontations. There could be, you are called to step back. So if you're fighting that, things could get a little bit intense. So be careful. It's an act of active withdrawal. I really, really like that. And meet up with your best friends, or talk to people about past. This is really, really fantastic energy. Now let's talk about the harmonious energy. If you have gate 49 in your design, then the channel of synthesis 1949 is activated. And it's very interesting. It's again very, very tribal energy. So again, it's about support, relationships, and especially sort of standing up for your emotional principles or emotional peace. This channel gives you a great sensitivity to what's going on around you. You can just sense people's feelings around you, and whether you're requested or not, you can be there to support them, to soothe them, to value. So you could be that center, like that queen bee, or someone who holds the community together, unite together. So again, think about your community right now. How can you strengthen your bond with your followers, with your community? It could be as simple as just sending them an email, telling them that it's all right, picking up on whatever is happening in your world, and channeling that. But beware, there's also this sensitivity also has a dark side. It's the criticism. So you can be so sensitive to the tiniest of criticism. Remember, you can't control what other people say or think, but also with the criticism specifically, always ask yourself, are these even relevant people to what they're criticizing? Because very often what happens is that two questions, relevant and correct. They are your people, basically. Because if a person who is not your person, they're incorrect for you in the first place, their opinion in a way doesn't matter. And I can teach you that I separate the world into correct, incorrect. Correct ones, I can listen to them, but then I also will ask, okay, you might be a correct person, but are you relevant to this piece of feedback that you're giving me, right? Because a lot of people in my world can be correct people, but they might not know or understand what I do in my business, and they might have an opinion, like people in our families, they can have an opinion about you, and you can get really sensitive and really hurt by whatever they're saying. But remember, they are not from that world. They have no expertise. And in a way, yes, maybe they want to express their opinion, but it's not relevant and it's not necessarily a fact. So this is just kind of a little bit of a pep talk. However, I'm sure that under this energy, you can feel a little bit more sensitive than normal. So retreat. We have this gate of retreat, gate of privacy, retreat, step back, don't confront, don't go, and don't go, soaking and sulking about it either. Just take some rest, turn that weakness into strength. So I'm kind of loving this energy, although I find the pull of the gate 33 kind of pulls me more right now. I don't feel, except for thinking about all these relationships and support and the resources, I don't really feel like I want to go and socialize and be with people, to be honest. So it's interesting how you are experiencing. Anita, how are you feeling this energy?
Yeah, this is great. I really enjoy this energy because that gate 19 is not only is it going to be new moon tomorrow, um, it's 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 actually a bullshitometer, I will call it. It is like you can smell bullshit from a mile away, 10 miles away, in relationships. And what's happening at the moment is this, while it can be codependent and over needy and over caring, the other side of it in the charts is that um, bringing you back to the old stories of when you were young and where you still may be carrying emotional baggage is coming up for review right now. So this is the emotional baggage that it might not even be yours. You might have been a small child and maybe there was money issues in the house, or there was a divorce in the house, or there was problems with work, that you would have been a energetic sponge for that energy, and it might be stopping you now. So Mars is like not directly opposite Pluto. It won't be there until another month or two, but there's a juxtaposition where Pluto and Mercury are together. So how you're communicating your emotions is going to be up for review over the next week or so. In other words, when you have this energy, it can really impact your manifesting. You might be radiating out energy that is the frequency of the hurt of your past. And it's now time that you start telling yourself or relating the story with respect to you now, not your parents, not the old hurts, not the old pains. And what's beautiful about this is that with the Neptune energy, that there really is a cleansing and a clearing. So in relationships, you might find the old family stuff that your siblings are driving you crazy, right? Step back, as Juliette said, use the retreat phase to step back and actually process that energy for yourself. And so that you're clearing it and allowing yourself to move forward in a much cleaner way. With your in your relationships, whether it's with a client, with the colleague, with the sibling, with the partner, it doesn't really matter. And the other thing with this is that once you do this, the benefit is the exhaustion at the moment is where you're super sensitive to where people and your environment are draining you, and where you need to really up your self-care and make sure that you are looking after yourself first. And with the relationships, the relationship doesn't necessarily have to go. That gate 49 is the all or nothing.
Yes.
Cross me and you're gone out of my
It's a
life, right?
marriage and divorce gate, isn't it? It's a real,
Exactly,
it's like
exactly.
bargain or break the bargain.
Exactly. So in your relationship, just have a look. Is it just the pattern that you're playing out that you need to release? Is it like your attachment issues that are coming to a head that you just need to address and become your own stable base? There's so much out on the internet right now about attachment. What's your attachment style? But it's like as if it's a death sentence, for a relationship. But actually, it isn't. It's how can you set up your relationship to feel safer? Okay. And this will go for your relationship with work as well, because we're clearing any old emotional energy. So this week, you're going to find people will tell you their secrets with that gate 33. They might be more truths will be revealed, communications that weren't communicated may be communicated, but be sure that you're not letting your emotion drive that communication, okay? Get back into balance, because otherwise it's quite snappy. That Mars energy is out of bounds, which means it's way more reactive than you normally are. And even just knowing that means that you can, step back and regulate your nervous system again. So I was talking to someone yesterday and they said, I'm feeling super anxious right now. And I was there, well, the energies are pushing us to grow. We're moving into huge beginning energy. We're beginning we're beginning to grow, which always is uncomfortable. We're making beginnings from where we felt limited and removing the expectations, allowing ourselves to experience that growth. And the third beginning is setting up that reciprocal setup for those review. Okay, if I'm starting this new project, is it something that I'm going to enjoy? Is it something my clients are going to benefit from? Because otherwise, it's not worth my precious time and energy. So, this beautiful, sensitive energy, yes, you're going to be super sensitive to people. Um, don't take it personally. Use it as a reason, as Juliette said, to retreat, self-care, balance, redress your energy, and let it flow. Let those old emotions dissolve. This is where I love when it's tomorrow. Make sure you set up a process for yourself to create new beginnings that are bringing value and joy to your life, because it's huge. It's huge time. We haven't experienced these energies for really a long, long time. I think Neptune and the North Node, which is our future direction, are both in Pisces. I think the last time they were conjunct this way was in the 1850s.
Wow.
So in Ireland, that was time, that was the famine time. So we're ending a place where we starved ourselves of self-care, starved ourselves of nutrients, starved ourselves of our needs. And yeah, it's really cool, really cool.
It's brilliant. One more thing I want to add, if you have an undefined root center, because I do, you can find yourself leaking resources.
Yeah.
And I am completely, I feel like this exhaustion that I mentioned, I actually have so much this week. And this is where probably it's happening. You know, there's just so much, this client work. I've just started this super intense dog training that I mentioned a couple of videos back. You know, it's started, there's so many videos to watch, there's so much to do. And there's this obsession I've discovered last week during the Gate of Contraction, which was all about, like, I was even thinking pruning the garden. All my house plants are overly pruned. I've been obsessed with it. But this just bringing it, it literally leaks your basic resources like the energy. So be careful, because you know this is something, you can be overly, you can just spread yourself too thin. I've been struggling to eat the last 2 days. This is another thing, and I'll mention that because a lot of us, especially if you're a little bit neurospicy or a lot, you know, the eating patterns, you can sometimes forget. And I feel like this gate 19 with this whole thing about resources, if you have an undefined root center, you could be leaking your resources in a shape of just forgetting to eat, or I feel like I cook, even if I cooked the dinner, it was like the last minute, you know, I'm rushing there. This whole theme of doing something the last minute with the undefined root center, it's really typical. So
Mm.
just watch yourself, you know, and take a breather sometimes and give yourself a little bit of space, and write down in your diary, eat, have breakfast, have lunch, you know, so you don't forget. So at least you have it written down, because, you know, there's just too much that's taking you, you know, somewhere else, too much of this energy. But generally, I'm really enjoying this. I'll see what the rest few days of this transit will bring us. And again, this is the second week, the second transit of this new starting energy. So everything that's happening, all these motions we're going through, even if you need to retreat, starting doesn't mean active. Starting is not active. Like if you put a seed into a ground, the seed starts to absorb nutrients and grow, but you don't see, you know, results for a long time. So when we're talking about this starting energy, or starting codons, or these gates that you know the new year started, I think that our adult brain forgets about the process of, you know, when you get results, and we just start thinking like, okay, I have to be very active now, I have to do things, I have to take action, I have to confront, I have to fight for my rights, you know, stand up for everything I believe in. Not necessarily. You know, give it time, let nurture your growth, nurture your projects, whatever you're starting now, whatever you maybe started focusing in last week, whatever now you're feeling like you're thinking, okay, resources, who do I know? This is another thing with the gate 19. It is about communities, it's about tribal support. So ask yourself, okay, who, if I haven't, do I have enough resources for what I want to achieve? If I don't, who can support me? If I do, who I can support so their abundance grows? It's a brilliant time to expand your network, and to see, just be careful about what commitments you are entering, so you're not too needy, right? Because there could be a little bit of a neediness with this theme. But it's really still a very, very good thing to just consider and plan and, you know, research, and it could be very, very fruitful and productive time for you.
Yeah, I would agree. And don't be surprised if you feel like a detox, or if you feel like, changing your daily habits, and change them to suit your energy, your strategy, your authority. If there's a time to honor your new beginning with the strategy and authority, now is the time. And really, this is the real new year. This is the start of the Chinese New Year. This is the start of the Imbolic, which is the Irish St. Bridget's Day, and moving in there. And with that, don't mistake the need to retreat for loneliness.
Yes.
Use the retreat for replenishment, and that it's your time and you need your time, because otherwise you're going to feel overwhelmed. So cutting down on things like stimulants, coffee, too much phone, too much interaction with the internet, Oh yeah, yeah.
I have coffee and it's 4 o'clock. It's half 4 in the afternoon. This is the latest I've ever had coffee, and you're saying cut it down. Okay, no more
Yeah,
late coffee
I
for me.
know, I know. Because there's already the energy is already so stimulating, you're going to feel overwhelmed with it, especially with this energy. And the other thing is just learning your new needs, learning your own pace. If you need to know this, you can sign up to my course or one of Juliette's marketing courses and just see how you are actually designed to work this, because it's a super, super manifesting time. What can happen with this anxiety, and this is my last point, is that the tension in the transits you feel in your body, as above, so below. But what can happen is you jump into your head to explain it away, to
Yep.
label it, to say, oh my God, what's wrong with me? You try to fix something. And I would say there is nothing to fix. Just learn how to regulate your energy in these highly energetic times that we haven't experienced for over a couple of hundred years, and learn how to manage your energy in a way that you're staying open to your guidance, to your natural flow. And that's what this gate 19 is attunement. So tell the stories that support you rather than the negative um, um, stories that brought you down.
That's such
So
a beautiful way to put it and to wrap this up, Anita. It's really is beautiful. So, guys, all is well. We will see you in the next episode of Transits and Tactics. And for now, take care.